Hey guys, I have another unboxing here. This is a gaming keyboard from Roccat. This is called the Vulcan Pro. And what I got here is the linear switch, which is basically, I think, their red switch equivalent. I bought it to replace my other keyboard. This is the Red Dragon Sindri K671 or K17, I forgot. But this is another red switch linear keyboard, but my problem with it is that the numpad keeps double clicking keys. So I use this while I'm also working from home, and the problem is whenever I'm using the numpad, it's double clicking numbers, so it's kind of making my data entry less accurate. So I'm hoping buying another keyboard will fix the problem, but here we go. Some technical specs here. So here we have the wrist rest. I think it's like a magnetic wrist rest which just clips on, but it looks like plastic so far. Yeah. There's the logo. Let's peel that plastic off. It's kind of cheap feeling, honestly. It's very thin. And the bottom has the rubber grips though, which is nice so it doesn't slide around on your desk. Okay. Here's the keyboard. Quick start guide. Here is the keyboard cable. USB-A on one end with their logo. And it's also a braided cable, which is nice. It doesn't look removable though. It's not a removable cable. Here's the keyboard itself. It looks it's very thin, but it looks very aesthetically pleasing. Whoa. These linear switches are so much more quiet than the Red Dragon. Here's what I was using. You hear the difference? Yeah, the sound is a lot more dampened. Also has a volume dial, which is really nice. It's got individual clicks. It's not just a smooth like turn knob. It's got feedback on it, which is nice. Some extra keys. These have like a really clicky, but it's like a light button. It feels like a Nintendo Switch controller button on the Joy-Cons. That's what these feel like. And take a look at those keycaps. They look very thin. I mean, this whole keyboard, just the whole theme, it looks like it's based on thinness and lightness. But it looks very, very nice. Nothing much on the bottom. It's got the rubber feet, which is nice. But yeah, now we're gonna but we're gonna attach the wrist rest. Okay. Yeah, it's just a magnetic wrist rest. And it is cheap plastic, but I guess it works. Everything feels good. And now we're going to plug it into my computer and see what it looks like. Hopefully the lights are bright because the lights on that Red Dragon I was using are very dim. Okay, so I have here, it's plugged into my MacBook. As you see here, it's plugged into my Mac. And this is a very, very nice looking keyboard. It's got RGBs and the lights are fading. And it's also plenty bright, much brighter than that Red Dragon I have. It's nowhere near as loud or clacky as that Red Dragon I had. This one almost feels like it has dampeners already in it. Yeah, I don't know. It's like a soft kind of linear mechanical keyboard, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if that's the case with, it's like a special thing with their Titan switches, but compared to a normal red switch, this feels like it's linear, but it kind of feels like it's softened up. This back plate here is metal, which is nice. Caps lock indicators are right there. Even on the Mac, the volume knob works great. You can see it's very precise. Each click is one volume up. I'll try it, see if it works, if there's any defects with this one. Hopefully it doesn't double click, but so far everything looks pretty good. Alright, hey guys, it's actually been a couple days since I've owned this keyboard. I've tested it a lot for typing and gaming, and I thought I'd give you guys some quick thoughts. So I don't know if I've stated in my unboxing video, but I bought this directly off Roccat's website for $50 because it was on sale, I think, for Black Friday, and it's currently still on sale at the time of making this video. They have the linear ones in stock, but all of the tactile options are sold out. I don't have any double clicking issues while using this keyboard, and everything is working fine. This keyboard uses their Titan Optical switch, which is, it's a mechanical switch, but it's different in a way, like it's using like a laser or a light beam to activate the switches, as opposed to a regular mechanical switch where it's actuated by like a metal plate being in contact. Apparently these have 100 million keystroke life cycle. So if that's really true, then these things should basically last forever. That being said, the typing experience on this keyboard is kind of meh. It's mechanical, but it doesn't really feel like that mechanical to me. Even in my first impressions when I've had this, I noticed that it felt very dampened. Like everything felt like it had like a spongy kind of feel to it, almost kind of like a membrane, but not as mushy as a membrane, but it kind of feels like it, even though, I don't know, when you type individual keys like this, it just feels like a normal mechanical keyboard. But when you're typing like normally during use, it feels like a membrane keyboard almost. I think my main problem with this keyboard is that the keys kind of feel cheap. Even when you type on this, everything kind of has like a cheap, rattly plastic sound to it. If you're typing on it, it doesn't even really sound like regular linear switches. It kind of sounds like a clacky plastic kind of sound to it, and it doesn't sound like a sturdy mechanical keyboard. Also, this is kind of, I don't know if this is supposed to be like that. Basically, all my keys wobble on here. So you see, like, I'm not talking about the keycap, I'm talking about the actual whole key switch. So you see how like that whole thing is wobbling, and it's on every single key. Even if I go to the control button, look how much that thing wobbles. Now, I don't know if that's going to affect longevity or whatever. Hopefully not, but that is literally on every single key. So when you're just resting your hands or typing on it, everything just kind of rattles and it feels cheap. I don't know. Now, overall, the keyboard and typing experience is still okay. I actually prefer typing on that old Red Dragon keyboard. It's just that it has double clicking problems. So hopefully the optical switches don't have that. Now with all that said, as long as the switches work, then I'm fine with it. I don't really care too much about the rattle, but it just feels kind of cheap. For like the retail price of like $120, I do not think this is worth it at all. But for $50, I think my purchase is pretty well spent. It's a really nice looking keyboard. That's probably my favorite thing about this keyboard is how it looks. And you can see that the lights get extremely bright. Because it is an optical switch keyboard, the lights are brighter than normal. Hopefully these keys will be really reliable and last long, but in person, when you're typing on it, it kind of feels lackluster. Yeah, even the switches on my Red Dragon do not wobble at all. Everything feels really solid, but for some reason not on here. So yeah, that's kind of my quick thoughts on this keyboard. If you guys want like a long-term review, I can put one out maybe after a few months or so. My friend actually owns a Roccat keyboard. He paid $140 for the Vulcan 122 or something. I think it's discontinued, but that one has their regular mechanical switches, not the optical switches. And his started having problems after 6 months. Thanks for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.